So the title of my poem is The Power of Your Melody. Listen in. Come here. Relax. Let everything else fade away. Your heart. The locked, lost lyric. Let it be free as it wishes to be. I know you're anxious. It's okay, you see. You will find it in due time. To your melody. It shines so bright. We're so lost we can't see it. You may catch a glimpse of its beautiful light. Disappear it will, but never give up hope. Cross the dark, endless balance along. You can't fall. You won't fall. Believe in yourself. Give it your all. This is what you must do to find the melody within you. You must be patient. I know it's hard. It must be. Darling, don't worry. I've been through. Just remember there's a light at the end of the tunnel. You will get through this, strong and true. Better than before, as you carry the melody out from your heart's core. Others may not like your song. It may hurt. Simple or wrong. Okay, because whether you sing young and proud, or young and loud, if it's calm and shy, or it's filled with endless cries, if it's strange and eerie, or if it's bright and cheery, it won't always be what they think. Another melody will come around, perfect for you. Can't resist the sound. Their melody, perfect for your symphony. How do you know when you have found your melody? I am not one to tell you that. It's different for everyone. But I promise that you know when you have found it. Right there within you. You may realize you have always heard it. It was only lost in echoes. My melody makes me feel invincible. I can almost fly. My melody always plays. I sing every verse, and many times I had to rehearse. But now it is known by heart, exactly where I found it. That's me. My endless, beautiful, loving song. I wonder what your song will be. Goodbye for now, honey. Tell me of your powerful melody.
Christian, Judge, please write your slurs down. Christian has a song in his heart. And because I'm such a geek, I must let you know that the song in my heart is the Star Wars theme. Speaking of which, for those of you who celebrate it with me, may the 4th be with you. Oh, yes! You are a real poet. I don't need to hear anything now. I believe whatever you say. Believe whatever you say. My judges, do we have our scores written down? Everyone's good? Awesome, fantastic. Moving forward, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Aaron Torres to the microphone. Clap. As Aaron comes to the mic, keep clapping. He's coming, he's coming, he's coming.
So the name of this poem is Security. So I'll just start it. The right thing for me is security, but police brutality blurs that line for me. Cause for Lil Jose walking around with Jermaine, it ain't the same as Tyler walking around with Elaine. And now I turn on my TV to see my brother slain, and the news try to tell me he was all in the game. They try to use it as justification, but that boy not to blame. Try to use it as an excuse to have his blood sprained and stained on the concrete, gunned down by the police, the same people hired every day to protect me. People people profiling and speeding up to stop me, the same people my taxes is paying out their salaries. Really is a bang for my butt. Can't even go to school. I get harassed before I step on the bus. They saying I fit a description. I'm getting questioned for drugs, but all they find is books. Yeah, man, they searching my stuff. See, all I want to feel is safe, and that's the one thing I ain't. And neither is my race. We get harassed for the same. I'm just waiting for the day that I could walk around and say that it's great to be a minority in the USA.
Aaron Torres! Judges, please give Aaron a score. I also want to mention, I like the fact that we're hearing some people snap and they're cheering the poets on, right? Like I said, we are not in English class 101, we're not in the library. So if you hear something you like the poet say, you can either snap or you can scream like a one-syllable word though, right? Like don't try to start a conversation with the poet who's up here. They're doing their poem. But like you like, yes! Or even a, you go girl, like whatever it is. Like, you know, if you're feeling it, let them know. We're rocking out. This is not your grandmother and grandfather's poetry. So, all my judges good? We got our time? Fantastic. My judges are awesome. They're on point. I love it. So, if there's anyone whose name I say incorrectly, correct me immediately. You're coming up here, you're pouring your heart out. You are to fight for people to know your name and to say it correctly. I'm going to repeat. You are to fight for people to know your name and for them to pronounce it correctly. If I make a mistake, correct me. It's even important for me to say your name right. So, without further ado, Odelia, did I say that right?
Yeah, you actually did.
Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Odelia to the microphone.
We're good. I'm glad I don't have to be corrected now.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Hi. This poem is called Suicide Girl after a poem by Sarah Kay. At the Urban Word Grand Slam at the Apollo Theater, I met Sarah Kay, and I told her that her poetry helped me out of a depressive episode. I didn't tell her that even so, I attempted suicide and was hospitalized. At the Urban Word Grand Slam at the Apollo Theater, a boy did a poem about 13 reasons why, and he had a line about slit wrists, and I started crying so hard I had to leave the room. Because as hard as I try, I will always think of myself as the suicide girl. Because what is a girl but a bright light learning how to bite? And what is a suicide girl but a light forgetting how to claw her way through life? And part of me remains there always on August 3rd when I tried to write a note but couldn't. I opened the Google Doc and left it blank, so I tried to just go. A burst of light I decided would follow me like a firework on the 4th of July. I did not realize that a suicide is not a bright light or a firework, but a caged animal clamoring to be let free, sinking its teeth into my arm with deadly accuracy, clawing and biting, letting out strangled moans of longing. And honestly, suicide attempts aren't even like that, because there is no accurate metaphor to describe wanting to die. And what is suicide but a means to an end? The ends justify the means? No, they don't. I remind myself of this all the fucking time, and I still forget it. And part of me remains in that hospital always. Anxious kids and angry kids and lonely kids and scared kids just trying to survive the only way they knew how. And part of me remains in the breakfast room where a girl 2 years older than me roughly groped my chest and said I was pretty for a dyke. Part of me remains in the terror of that moment always, feeling like my body was suddenly, utterly not my own. And this poem has taken me the longest to write. I have written it and rewritten it in the hospital right afterwards, 2 months after, 4 months, 6 months now, 10 months, 1 day, 2 hours, and 22 minutes later. And every time I write this poem, I am still unhappy with it, because poetry is what I reach for when everything crumbles. I've tried it all, and it always seems to come back to poems. I watched movies about suicide, and I pet my cat and screamed into my pillow and sobbed in the shower, and I've rolled in dirt, and I felt the earth on my skin as if that would make me want to feel alive again. I've trembled and shook and cried and screamed, and it always seems to come back to poetry, because poetry is what I reached for when my arm was bandaged up and I still had hospital bracelets on and I could barely write for 5 minutes without crying, because poetry is writing what you're scared about. And holy shit, am I scared right now. Because what is a girl but a bright light learning how to bite? And what is a suicide girl but a light forgetting how to claw her way through life? And what am I girl, and a suicide girl, and a million things in between.
Oh, Delia! And if there's anyone in the room or anyone watching on YouTube, and the thing that bothered you the most was the swearing in the language, then you got a problem with yourself. That's what I'm saying. So to our judges are good? Awesome. Now that our judges have said that, because I don't want to sway our judges, I want to say this. Some of the best poems in the world, some of the best writing, the best songs, the best works of art is when the artist allows themselves to be vulnerable. And because it's when they say the things that everyone else is afraid to say, that's when everyone's like, that's when they stick to them, right? No one talks about like, you're not gonna connect with someone if they mention something that we all do. Oh, I woke up today. So did I. I've already been through that, right? But we all have our secrets. And when we share something real vulnerable, that's when we connect with people. And I think it takes an incredibly courageous person to do something like that. So one more time, give it up for Adelia, whose name I said properly. Next, come to the microphone, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome Arlene to the mic. Clap as she comes to the mic.
That's a great color.
Hi, my name is Arlene Ramos, and my poem is called 11-Year-Old Warrior, and I want to change the world. I want to be a warrior of justice, of women's rights, of people that live in the streets. Y'all don't know what a 11-year-old wants to do or wants to fight for. So I will show you. Justice is what we want. Making the world a better place is what I want. Life shouldn't be killing or suffering. It should be peace and happiness. This is what I'm here for, the 11-year-old warrior. So I will show the world. I will make women's rights stand out. We are like men. We still do racism and look at people by how they look outside. Don't judge the book by its cover. I think women and girls should get the same treatment as men do. Just because you may think we are weak, but listen people, we aren't weak. Women are the same as men. We can work the same as men. Women can do whatever men can do. This is still happening around the world and it will stop. And that's a fact.
That's right.
Now listen, this is the most important part. Listen close. We should be thankful to God that we have homes, food, clothes, and family. Let's stay quiet for a moment. Now listen, there's always kids and men and women that are homeless. They don't have food, clothes, or anything that we have. I will fight until they have shelter or homes. I know I'm 11 years old, but this is not fair. This 11-year-old warrior will fix all that. These are just words, but I will change all this. This is the end of the 11-year-old warrior. The warrior. We are the warriors.
Arlene. Judges, please give her a score. The 11-year-old warrior who's going to become the 12-year-old goddess and control the universe. That's awesome. That's awesome. And like for real, tell me her like jacket isn't fly. When she came up here, that's right. So I was like, yo, your jacket looks really good. I like that color scheme. It really does. That's awesome. So, my judges, we're good? Everyone's good? Awesome. Moving on. Next, our fifth competitor. Again, if I say your name wrong, be quick to correct me. Is it Shira? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Shira to the microphone.
You're doing this for a while, so I try. Enjoy.
Thank you. Before I start, I want to say I did my first slam poem with this program, like 8th grade, and I was like young and naive. My poetry was terrible, and I haven't been there since then. But it was a really an amazing starting point that I'm incredibly grateful for. Okay, this poem is called Hiding, spelled Hyding. You know, they say insanity is often a build-up, a downward spiral I thought was just a childhood slide, but now I'm reaching 6 feet under, slowly losing consciousness, still an insomniac, screaming at anyone who comes near me. but I can't call myself insane. Insane is a diagnosis. Broken is an adjective. Broken is how I can't trust myself as a narrator for my own life, but I can't call myself broken, because broken is forever. And Lord knows you don't tell a suicidal girl anything about forever. Forever is a forbidden fruit, and I'm not just allergic. I fear if I'm airborne, I can't get anywhere near to forever before the sickness takes hold and I'm stumbling back. No, not broken, not insane. I can't call myself anything but a girl who keeps sliding, keeps slipping down, trying to stop, pull myself back up the slide like we did in kindergarten. But being strong was easy in kindergarten. When did I lose my grasp? I'm not quite sure when control slipped into utter chaos, and why everything I hurt I love while I destroy my own support beams. When I stopped loving books and bikes and the boy and just spent my time wishing I did, God, I wish I could go back to the playground where I used to be. Maybe put poetry aside for a moment. Dancing along the playground with a smile I thought I'd forgotten, but the monster always comes back. The monster that used to make me check under the bed, but now makes me sick in the head, and slowly, an inch closer each night, the monster crawled in with me. And we became one, and I began hiding. H-I-N-C. See, we learned Dr. Jekyll couldn't control his impulses, and I can't control my crazy, my fear, my breathing, losing control, falling down that side, and barreling into anyone in my way trying to help me. And sometimes I just wake up and realize I'm no longer me, wake up terrified of the things I'm seeing in the mirror, because I take away everything I love and replace it with hollow spaces, places to hide until no one can find me. Places to up until they explode. And when did I build up? When did all I built up start looking so demolished and stop looking like home? See, maybe what I'm trying really know you're on a downward spiral until you're already half monster, already half hurtful, part pathetic, and completely crazy. So let me H-Y-D-I-N-G flee back to the monkey bars of when I was a child. Let me climb back to the safe security of that high up haven. Let me be as strong as I was in kindergarten. Let me out of the open, please. No more hiding with no one seeking for me. They've all moved on, recess is over, but still, here I am, hiding.
Shira. Judges, please give Shira a score. Now, what was that line, Shira? No one knows that they're going down the spiral until they're halfway a monster. Great, I'm gonna put it on Twitter and say I wrote that. That was awesome. Thank you. No, I didn't do it. I just thought that was really awesome. Okay, judges, we got our scores? Fantastic. Next, coming up to the microphone, please give it up for Dooley. Did I say it right? Yes, Dooley. Give it up for her. Clap, clap, clap.
It's okay. Enjoy.
Thank you. I also just wanted to say just a note, Shira, we went to our first poetry slam together when we were 14, and I didn't know what I was doing, but I stuck with it. And also, like Odelia, I have been hospitalized this year, and poetry got me through that. And this is one of the places that really opened this door for me, and just thank you. So, okay, this poem is called Collateral Damage. My brain is a battlefield, an unfamiliar, volatile mess, a tangled web of lies that my mind tries to convince me are mine ever since the butterflies became much too benign to describe the grenade that sits ticking in my stomach. And I know it'll go off any second, but I don't think I'll be able to reach it before it's too late. And part of me wants it to detonate, part of me wants to explode, relinquish control, part of me confuses a bomb for an assault. And I am fighting for both sides of the war in my mind, and yet I am losing my mind, but the noise that keeps me up at night isn't as frightening as when both sides are quiet. Ceasefire, there is silence, the violence is over, only I'm not sure who has triumphed in the fight. Maybe my brain is not a battlefield, but a wounded soldier folded up with the sheets on my bed that I haven't changed in weeks, because everywhere I tread outside of my head is a minefield, and most days I forget to watch my step. My brain is a plane, only I'm a pilot who never learned to fly. The enemy is a million different versions of me, most of whom I never wanted to meet, and yet here I am writing their biographies. The garden in my memories of childhood where there's supposed to be children playing has morphed into a graveyard, mourning all of the parts of me that I have lost and digging holes to bury the rest, as if I don't have much time left, because the seeds that I planted have grown into poisonous vines, vines that I've left my fingerprints all the scene of the crime, a map where I haven't been, because I am a balloon stuck in a tree, the branches, greedy arms, and while I have places to be, I am trapped in their embrace, always out of reach of anyone who wants to save me. Because by any other name, used as a weapon if your army is desperate enough, and you call me a warrior, only I'm not sure who you're praising, because I am fighting against myself. My brain is a war ground. No, my brain is the war itself, my body a casualty, and the rest of me, well, that's just collateral damage.
Duly. Judges, please try to give that a score. You know I don't look too old, but I'm actually 37 years old. And I've been doing this for about, I want to say 15, 16 years. And one of my favorite things to do is to come and listen to the youth, as they call it, the youth. I love to listen to their poetry because they are so much more given than a lot of adults. There's something that happens to adults that when we grow up, all of a sudden it's like our facade, our avatar, and still at the young age, the kids haven't fully built that. They probably will, unfortunately. They're gonna be like us. But I love coming because it reminds me why I enjoy doing this. The adults can ruin so many things. So I want to say props to Dooley for that poem, and props to all the poets we have seen so far. Give it up for all of them, please. That's right, the poet expert says, forget the adults, let's listen to kids' poetry. So all of my judges are ready? Awesome. Chelsea to the microphone. Clap as Chelsea Banks comes to the mic.
Alright, so the poem that I'm going to be reading is called Dears, and it is like a letter to my family members. So, yeah. My grandma suffered trying to take care of the fam. We was a headache. God was a partner in crime that hold her. When she was trying to survive, she tried not to cry. But every time she broke down, we helped out around the house. My mama was 20 when she had me. Her first angel was born. She never let go of her baby. She loved me. Daddy was 20. Whoa. I'm gonna start over. I'm like, yo, bear with me. I'm like nervous, alright? Like, I don't actually know. My grandma suffered trying to take care of the fam. We was a headache. God was a partner in crime that hold her. When she was trying to survive, she tried not to cry, but every time she broke down, we helped out around the house. My mama was 20 when she had me. Her first angel was born. She never let go of her baby. She loved me. Daddy was 19 when he had his first kid. His little girl, his first life kin, said he loved me. That was the best thing that ever happened to him. But I was a young, he didn't know how to feel. I was 10 when he changed up, talking to him, but never manned up. Cause it wasn't until I was 12 that I was fed up, crying real tears, cause my daddy was different from what I've known. He wasn't there for my first loss. He claimed that he loved me, but where was he when I was all alone? Asked for money because it was all I could afford. Your love was expensive and your visits were once a month. You heard me, and that's something you don't know. I went from being your little girl to being someone you don't know. And mom, I understand you want to teach me the best, but the struggle of being a single mother so I could comprehend. Best lesson I've ever learned, and you did it by yourself, never needed the help of a man. I consider you stronger than any man on this earth. Hey, so thank you for taking care of two wonderful girls, and I'm my role model. I thank you for never putting your part in front, for loving me even when I was doing wrong. And I know life gave you headaches, especially when Pop was gone, but you hold on because of us. You showed me that in life you had to be strong, and tough comes along, but I should, yo. Again, I'm sorry. I'm gonna start over. All right. My grandma suffered trying to take care of the fam. We was a headache. God was a partner in crime that held her when she was trying to survive. She trying not to cry, but every time she broke down, we helped out around the house. My mama was 20 when she had me. Her first angel was born. She never let go of a baby. She loved me. Daddy was 19 when he had his first kid. His little girl, his light skin, said he loved me. That was the best thing that ever happened to him. But I was a young and didn't know how to feel. I was 10 when he changed up, started talking to him, but never manned up. Cause it wasn't until I was 12 that I was fed up, crying with tears. Cause daddy was different from what I've known. He wasn't there for my first loss. He claimed that he loved me, but where was he when I was all alone? Asked for money because it was all I could afford. Your love was expensive and your visits were once a month. You heard me.